Hello, 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 hello. It is I, Baldermort. Merry Christmas! And not as a gloating session, just as a look what we've all got session. I'm very much hoping you'll be able to either put something up on Facebook, on Twitter or something to tell me what you've got. This is not a, look who's got the biggest things or the most toys. It's just, let's just share our joy. And again, if you've got something small and someone else has got something huge, well, they probably have other expenditures or less expenditures, etc. Just don't let jealousy drive you, that's all I'm saying. This isn't a gloating session, this is a sharing of pleasure session. Again, only very few people watch these things, so I don't worry too much. As I say, I've just been exhausted recently and having a little bit of time off and making time now for fun. Shaky camera. Okay, now I've got a lot of Necrons recently, and Mrs. B and the kids knew that I would like a little bit of a change of gear, just to make something different for a little while, because they're very fiddly. Wanted something slightly more robust. Ha! And what's more robust than Space Marines? Nothing. Let alone, oh look, they're all in red. It's of course, the Blood Angels. Now, I don't know, he may be even getting a transfer across, because now I have two armies of Space Marines, one Crimson Fists, one Blood Angels, of course. And I'm very much looking forward to this, because I was very much looking forward to having one of the new Impulsors. And I was trying to keep all of my Primaire figures to be only in my Crimson Fists, but, well, I think all of my Indomitus figures and these guys are going to go into the Blood Angels, because it was cool. Now, all of the different chapters are cool, legions, etc. I really do believe every single one has a place, but I really like them. Again, no more than any other, but I've collected them, I've played them for a long while now, so why build another army when you've got wonderful stuff to add to existing ones? Because obviously in the Impulsors I can put my little assault intercessors and charge up the field with my lovely Blood Angels and bring the Emperor's wrath with chain, sword and power fist to the enemy. Xenos and Heretic scum. Now, everyone knew that I found this very entertaining. I bought this previously, I believe, but it's in the Christmas haul because there we go, because I'm now about to put some together. And of course, now this is only the second time ever I have owned a Tech Marine, but I just couldn't resist with this one. Yes, I've taken off all of the shiny coverings so no one can see my ugly mug in the camera. Even as a phantom, woo, I just can't afford the amount of therapy I'd have to pay people. So, here we go. Oh, wonderful. So Tech Marine, I have no idea if I'll be putting him into my Crimson Fists or my Blood Angels, but I feel it may be Crimson Fists again. But there again, could buck the trend and to have this as the only Tech Marine I've ever had in a Blood Angels force. Why? You don't generally need them. Well, you're too busy chopping and stabbing and, flying forward and deep striking in the name of the Emperor. Looking forward to playing with this. I know many people do not like it. Again, am I its biggest fan in the world? No. But do I think it's fun? Yes, I do. I'm looking forward to playing with him. A little bit of whirly-gig around the table, shooting people in the face. All is good fun. Now, as well, any madman or woman or any mad thing, person, whatever, who has watched all of my stuff knows that I adore aggressors. I have a plethora of them in my Crimson Fist army, but they are inside this box, and it's one of the major appeals of it. For me, now for a starter, it's great. You've got a HQ, you've got a front-running unit of infantry, you've got some punch there. Sneaky beaky types. You've got the standard line troops and you've got a vehicle. So you've got some psychers, you've got standard troops which do different things, you've got some heavy punch in there, in the aggressors. I know people will say they're not as good in 9th as they were in 8th. No, but they don't need to be in my mind. I think they provide a very important tactical role, and I just love the figures. So, and of course having one of the new fires. Now, I do have another one, but I'd never had the time to put it together. So now I will have two, and I can put my assault assessors inside them. Now, sorry, digressing. I'm obviously very excited. I've been working very hard this year and getting down to actually building and playing. And I did do some playing this week before everything got lucky downy down. Ah, dear. Well, less about that, sorry. Real well, do apologise. But yes, I did have a couple of good games, and I really enjoyed them. But yes, they were with the Necrons, and I've been doing lots of Necron stuff recently, so the break for me is going back to my roots. Blood Angels! So, for a standard player, or a newbie, basically, a new player, one of these boxes is 85 quid. Very bad. But on the other hand, you've got hours and hours of fun there, and that's a good core. It's a great core to start your army with. It's large enough to play a proper game with, and you can really enjoy it. Then you get bits every now and again when you need to proxy before you buy, is what I say. But you know, that's one of those things. It depends if you're a collector and painter more than you are a player or a competitive player. Blah 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 blah. There's many ways of going around this. But for me, this is a wonderful box set. As I say, it's got the new vehicle. It's got everything to start you off. It's wonderful in its depth as well, because the librarian brings in some rules, but none that are too heavy. So you do have some special issue feel to it as well. As I say, with that, you've got a variety of different ways you can deploy an attack as well. So that's quite nice. Now for me, obviously, lovely aggressors. But these fellows here, all got fun, but I'm going to make them into Death Company intercessors, because I don't have any Death Company intercessors yet. I have 30 Death Company, 20 flying, 10 on the ground, all armed with lots of nashy, thumpy thump and stabby stab, or melty melt, but mainly stab. Whereas these guys, I just want to have one, just so I can field loads of Death Company in one little groupy group and have fun with it. And obviously the vehicle now, it's always, I mean, obviously I love rhinos, I love Land Raiders, etc. I've always been in love with troop transports. I don't know why. I've tried to analyse it. I don't quite get it myself. But even so, who cares? Sometimes you get to a point where you just go, I don't care why it is. It just is. And just relax into it like a hot bath and stop worrying why it's warm. It just is. Now, Techie Marine, lovely. These boxes, yes. And them. So, right, I do apologise for waffling on like a madman. I'm just so excited to build some Space Marines again. And I've even got a couple of units left in the Vanguard box over there. Hello, Vanguard box. And I'm going to have a massive session of building. I've been told that I've been a very good board this year. So I may even be able to keep it out for a couple of days. But who knows? Imagine meals, blah, blah, blah. Kids are back. Not that they're kids anymore, but there we go. Right, so, waffle over. This is what I got for Christmas. I'm going to do an update later on, sometime this week. Just, again, only because I'm taking a break, but popping on just to share some joy. And I would love it if people either went to the Facebook page or to Twitter and just put up pictures of what you got. Again, not as a gloating session. Nobody is more interesting, able, or worthwhile for having more toys. This is never about gloating. This is about saying, look what I got, I'm really excited about it. We do this to be semi-childish, to be honest, and really just enjoy what we are doing and how much fun we're having. Yeah. So put up some pictures, tell me what you got, and I will probably laugh harder than you did. I just love this stuff. Now again, I won't be responding to everything. If you ever get a heart, it means I have read your message. I really appreciate your message. Now people say, oh, you heart everything. Well, because I generally like most messages. But the only thing I would say is I don't have time at the moment while I'm taking a break to do answers to everything, unfortunately. Because if I get caught doing too many videos or video-y stuff, I will get in trouble, because I'm supposed to be on a break. So this kind of stuff takes very little time. I can do that while she's popped down to the shop to get some milk, yay! And then I'll put it up later, yay! And then after that, I won't be in trouble. Because, you know, a break's a break. You're supposed to be taking a break. But this is a break to me. I just want to share it for a little while. Now, right, sneaky beaky time over. Time for the playing. Yee! Building figures, yummy. And next year, hopefully, we can build some figures together when I work out how to do the live stream without it being blank. And other things like that. Right, so, see you soon. Yes, bye. Hello. well, I decided to continue this video and show you some of the results. Because quite clearly I didn't get to put out the video. I just didn't get round to it. Festivities, taking a break. I was exhausted by the end of last year, just before Christmas, which is why I had to take a break, unfortunately. I really ramped it up. Yeah, I mean, these kind of silly little videos aren't for everyone. I completely agree with that. I completely see that. But every now and again, it's just something I hope is just a jolly little distraction to show that, you know, I really do put my money where my mouth is. I do play this game. I really do enjoy it. And I do make time for fun. Now, we can see that I got into my Indomitus set and put together lots and lots of chopping marines. Primaris Assault Intercessors, I love them. And some of the other figures, which I've just mentioned in the previous video, which didn't get released, sorry about that. I put them together, and I'm still in the verge, you know, in the middle of putting a couple more together. But I'm going to be going Blood Angels with them. I was very tempted, and still am, to make them Black Templars, but that would give me then 3 armies, and just Marines. And I've already got 4 Eldar armies now, such things. So, and a Tyranid army. So I felt it was getting a bit much. So if I bought another one, then I would go, oh well, I could just get one more tank for them, and oh, just one more transport, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to bring them all into my Blood Angels. Lovely. And again, sometimes I'm one of the weirder older guys who plays massive games of 5, 6, 7, 8,000 points with one of my friends. Usually Peter Tep, sometimes the hairy one. And I'm hoping to get something together with that later on in the year. I just wanted to say, I really hope everyone is doing okay. To explain what's going on with the channel at the moment as well, a little bit. Now, I am trying to get as much out as possible, and people will say, oh, you're just trying to grow, you just want money, etc. Well, that is the case, obviously. I need to pay bills. And I do like to keep continual growing. It's almost bred into you after you've been doing YouTube for a little while, because all the numbers and everything else there are almost set up to condition you to want to get more out at all points. So when you're looking at all your numbers, oh, how are things going? Let's have a quick look. And you see all these graphs and numbers, etc. You see them going up, you see them going down, you see them going up, you go, yes, I feel like I'm doing something cool. People love what I do. Not me. You don't know me. What I'm doing, and again, people confuse the person with the product. The product, again, makes it sound very commercial. It isn't. But at the end of the day, it's NAF TV, isn't it? I do slideshow TV. And so I always have to remember, you know, it is just bad TV, but it's bespoke TV. It's TV about stuff you want to know about. So there we go. It's just a fun game. Now, I have been putting out a lot, and I probably will do it a lot in January, because people are not necessarily having the best of times. And although it's certainly not important for many, or any really, to watch a YouTuber talk about little men, but sometimes it can put a smile on people's faces, and that's what I really do it for. Yes, to pay my bills. Yes, so I can talk about toys all day. That's you know, it's like a dream come true for me. Yes, I can interact with my community and people I consider very close to me, because we've got so much in common. We're human beings. Mostly we've got exactly the same biological issues and situations. We live in the same world at the same time. And we play the same game. We have an interest in the same world. Now, there can be many different facets for it, but if generally you're watching this side, you've got a bit of a love for the Lord, a bit of love for the escapism, and quite a strong, streak of silliness to watch my videos, I think. Even the more serious ones, I like to end at least on a high point if I can, to remind people it's just a show. It's just a little dream that we all dream together. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So I will be trying to put out as much as I can at the moment, but please do bear in mind I'm not actually that good at reading things out. I'll have people say, oh, can you just read out the small tract for me? It'd be really cool. And then send me War and Peace. And I'm like, dude, seriously, could you read it yourself and then tell me how long that takes, and then times it by 10? Because my editing skills aren't brilliant. My breathing obviously isn't always great, so I have to remove it. Because nobody wants to At the moment, the pictures are distracting you from my perpetual breathing issues. Again, am I dying? No, God, no, God, no. Do I smoke? Yes, I do. So I'm not very fit at the moment, which I'm hoping to change this year. But again, all of these heavy intakes of breath, etc., need to be removed. Otherwise, it just sounds like a very, very dilapidated old man trying desperately to snatch out words, and that's not what you need. It's not what you want to hear. What you want to hear, hopefully, is just the immersion into the story and possibly some information, starter information only. On a lot of the figures and units, etc., in this great and weird, wacky world of Warhammer. So, as before, I would love you, if you can, to show me how it's done almost, because as we all know, I plod at things, I kind of relax into it, and it took me an inordinate amount of time to make these Marines, just doing it bit by bit. Usually I like to sit down for a whole day and do a whole session. I get into the factory element of it, and I could do these all in a day, but I didn't get the time to do that, because I was hanging out with family in the same house, and, you know, catching up with my kids and their amazing lives. I think most people's lives are amazing, so don't think that they're doing anything incredible or anything worthy of being jealous of. Not that anybody doing anything is worthy of being jealous of, but we know this rant from me. Be happy with yourself and everything else will be fine. That doesn't mean don't improve yourself. Obviously improve yourself. Obviously try and get the most out of life you possibly can, but just know that having the biggest car on the street may not necessarily be the thing that you need. So for some people it does, for some people it doesn't. So just do the things that make you happy. While you're paying your bills, of course. We all have had or do jobs that we don't like. So as we can see from the figures here, I'm not brilliant at making figures. I'm just not. But I can still enjoy it. I don't need to compare myself to the greatest artists out there, the greatest builders, the greatest painters, because if I wanted to paint that well, I'm not saying I could, but I could definitely invest a load of time and improve my skills. It's just not worth being jealous of people, to be honest, especially not over something as silly as who can paint a figure best. That's just daft, or who knows the most lore, or, you know, there's just no point in being competitive, because when you're competing against someone, you're not playing with them. And we do this to relax. We do this for fun. This is supposed to be... yes, another thing. For anyone new, we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about real life here, because this site is 100% just about relaxing. You relaxing, immersing yourself in a different world for a short while, so you can build your energy up again. So you then got the energy to shrug and smile at someone who's having a bad day and tearing a strip off you, and just be reasonable about it. So you can get up and you can go to work with a smile on your face. You can deal with your kids when they're being very fractious because they're so annoyed at what's going on. So you have the energy then to hang out and get a good night's sleep. Well, I know many people use my videos to sleep too. Why not? Why not? Is all I would say. It's just that if I do something more bumpity bump, just turn it off and go to something else. I can't make every video a sleepy video, okay? And nor would I want to, because if I do that, then I might as well just read out Peter Pan and just go mainstream, and that I would not want to do that. Perhaps a better way for me to spend my time, but I don't think so, because again, I'm having fun. I'm just managing to pay my bills. And I'm getting things under control. I'm learning every day, so I'm hoping that this kind of thing will be for you. A hot little water bottle or a snuggly blanket that you can just shove yourself under when things get a bit stressy. Or just at the end of the day to recharge your batteries or to go to sleep too. So I will be trying to put out more videos this year like last. I don't know how long I'll be able to maintain the kind of schedule I had in November and December. Well, early part of December, because I was really going for growth, but again, a lot of people were down. I wanted to cheer people up. A lot of people don't have a very good Christmas run up, and I felt that at that point, though, that I needed to take a break, and Mrs. B basically stated I needed to, and that was that. Also, I felt that my last videos weren't necessarily as good as they could have been. Now, I've got a strange situation, whereas after 2 weeks nearly off, I'm finding it very difficult to make videos and gain inspiration. I'm feeling rusty. So, yes, it's only 2 weeks off, but I feel like I'm almost coming back to it again. Fresh, but terrified. So if you do see any mistakes from me in the last next couple of days, weeks, do give me a break. Do point them out. Obviously, tell me. I like to learn. I like to know when I'm wrong, etc. All of my videos are introductions only. There will always be nuances. Say for example, the Space Wolves do this, do that. I will talk about generalities, and then after that, when I get into further, more in-depth videos on their units, etc., I would then show the differences that make them special. Say broad blanket statements which are made in the codices, like the Grey Knights are not known by anyone. But then people always say, but they're known about this by this chapter, this chapter, and this chapter. But those are the parts which will make those different entries more interesting. Because, say, Grey Knights, no chapter knows about them. Well, there's the Exorcists, I'm quite sure they know about them. And, of course, there's Space Wolves, the Months of Shame. But when I do the Months of Shame, and I do the Space Wolves, I will then be able to point out that they are the exception to this overall rule. And that makes them cool. It makes them cool. It gives them more flavour. They are one of the elite, which knows things that others do not. So we've got to go with the baseline before we go into the nuances, okay? So please do bear that in mind before you jump on me and say, you're incompetent. Well, it's not a case of incompetence. Sometimes I just don't know. No one knows everything. I never claim to know any more than anyone in their specific field. Okay, so if you're a Space Wolf player, you've read all the books, etc., you will know it 10 times better than me. But I have to do the basics on everyone, hopefully by the end of the run, and get as much of it done as possible while time permits. So do bear with me on that one, and do correct me, or do state, have you thought about this or whatever. Happy with that, totally, always. I always expect the older, more knowledgeable hands to put up stuff which could be valuable to the newer players who don't know this stuff. But just do please remember, before getting annoyed with me and saying you've missed out this, you've missed out this, you've missed out this, that this is just an introduction. And all of those nuances are almost sometimes left for people to discover on their own until I do a video, and then they then have the choice to know that or not. Yeah, I know, I'm waffling like a madman, sounding very defensive, only because I've been off for 2 weeks and I'm not feeling as confident as I used to do. I just need to get back on the horse. So hopefully by this time next week I will be back up and running. All I can say is, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be putting out some decent videos. I'm going to be working up some big videos again, and hoping to get things slightly better organised and come back with a better routine, etc. that works for me as well as it works for thee. So we're going to try live streams and other such things. Just give me a few more days to work on all of this. I'm hoping next week to get more in for you if I can. But again, when people say, we just want more lore, we want more stories, it needs to be 7 days a week, just stories, forget everything else, then unfortunately I've got to say I can't help. Because creative process isn't like, I sit down at 9 o'clock, write a story until 11 o'clock, record it till 2, adjust it by 3, and then after that, or the other way around, and then release it, doddle. It doesn't work that way. I could do stories like that, but they would be passionless, soulless, stories by numbers, and I think you deserve better. I know you deserve better. All of you. Any single one. Anyone who even despises my voice, my accent, everything I do and everything I talk about still deserves the best I can do. Even if they're just going to take the mickey out of it. Because this is what I do now. And you guys are supporting me to do this. So I'm doing my very best to do my best. Okay. There we go. Now, please do, as per the previous other section of the video, if you have the time, if you have the inclination, if you want to just share your pride in what you've done, not as an attack on anybody else, not as I'm better than you, just as in, this is what I've managed. And if you truly are really skilled, which I know a lot of you are, I know you are, you wonderful people, even the shy ones who say, it's not very good, you're wrong. Most of the pictures I see online are better than I could do, and they are amazing exhibits of your skill, your patience, your time, your effort, your expression. I am truly, deeply and madly in love with most of the pictures I see. The only thing I would say is, don't do what I'm doing now, putting all on a bad background. Put it on a white background if you can. You don't need to get a light box, etc., just to share some fun. But put it on a white background or something. Don't have lots of pots and paints in the background. Just take 2 seconds composing your picture and then share it with all of us. And again, when you see someone with like, oh my God, they've got an entire army. Look, Balder's got all of this. I don't drive. I don't go on holidays. I saved up for a long, long time. And I don't have any social life at the moment because none of us do. So, and I don't drink very much anymore because the hangovers are so horrible. I'm past it. My drinking days are ended. Damn it. Apart from the occasional port. Now, so please never get jealous. And if you do say to yourself, oh God, I'm getting slightly annoyed because this guy's got so much stuff. How did he get that? Always say to yourself, and I could too if I wanted to. One way or another. Some people make ridiculous life choices and get toys out of cars, etc. When they need a car, I don't need a car, so therefore I don't have that car and I buy toys instead. Always remember, people have worked for what they've got, if they've got it, and just try to be happy with what you got and be happy for other people as well. And then we'll find that all of us, our moods will rise. We'll have more energy to deal with the deep levels of almost up to the shoulders, almost up to the nose BS that is going on. And we're not going to discuss what it is because everyone will have a different perspective. I could say that this is a wonderful figure and someone else would say, no, it's BS. And we can say that about anything in the world. So let's keep the real world out of it. Just go for Warhammer. And just, if you can, just have some fun and relax. And whenever you go near your toys and other such things, just say to yourself every single time, this is my chill out time. It is my job. It is my duty to relax. So I've got the energy then to deal with all of the vicissitude of modern living. Okay? Now, long, extensive rant over, and I'm sorry about that. I am just waffling. I am just talking. Never feel that I'm trying to lecture you. I am never right. Anything I say is only applicable to me. Anything I say is to be purely discussed or thought about. Okay? I am not correct. You know your life better than me. I am never lecturing you. Okay? So, defensiveness over. Just want to know, we're all equals here. Okay? Full stop. No one knows better than anyone else unless they can quote paragraph and you know, all of the rest of it, and does it in a nice way. We can learn so much more, we can have so much more fun if we do it together as a community. So, I desperately hope, as I said earlier in the first half, which now adding to now, please through this long, dark January, which could be very difficult for many in different areas of the world where there are very heavy issues going on. We all know what it is. And I won't say it, I won't go on about it, but a lot of people are going to be very stressed out. So please, please, please look after yourself. Eat properly, drink properly, rest properly, sleep properly, and smile. And if you're finding that something on the news or anything else gets you down, gets you angry, fine. Feel that emotion, but then straight afterwards, if you can, don't turn it off. Don't fight your emotions. But do know that you can guide them. Put on your favourite comedy or silliest sketch or a Baldermort video, which is just pure silliness, and try to purge, because long-term anger doesn't get you anywhere. And trust me, I know. I really, really do. You may think I'm just a fluffy old man now. I have had my periods of being a very angry young man and a very angry middle-aged man. Not violent or anything else like that, just deeply angered by the world. And it didn't do me any good. So, and again, that's only my experience. Sometimes anger is the perfect route to change. Sometimes it just destroys you. So, don't let it. If you can't change an issue, don't let it destroy you. If you can change an issue, then take positive action to change it. You are always in control. You are always powerful. You are always surrounded by your friends. They're here, they're everywhere. We are legion. You're never alone. Okay? So, be good to yourself, my friends. That's all I ask. Please. And of course, the best way to do this, with a sharp nail, getting an opening, always make time for fun.